30 projections in 30 days going into the 2024 regular season for the New York Mets as we continue our month-long deep dive into the Mets' 40-man roster. Today we are discussing the leadoff spot, Brandon Nimmo. After re-signing with the Mets last offseason on an 8-year, $162 million deal, Nimmo was his normal, productive self and then some in 2023, slashing .274, .363, .466 with a career-high 24 homers and a .130 WRC plus in 682 plate appearances. Brandon's power surge was a long time coming, finally finding the perfect combination to pull and lift the ball at a career-best rate while maintaining his career contact rates. Career highs in average exit velocity, max exit velocity, hard hit rate, and barrel rate. Nimmo has blossomed into one of the best leadoff hitters in all of baseball. Defensively, Brandon has also come a long way as an outfielder where his range and reaction time have improved from playing farther back in center field. Although he's become a plus defender at the position, the Mets have decided to move Nimmo to left field going into 2024. Despite staying healthy for the past few years, going into his 30s with a wide injury history, the Mets have a higher desire to preserve their 8-year investment going forward. Nimmo will be entering a 30-year-old season, looking to continue his fantastic career as a lifelong Met.
You got your constant Nimmo, again, the on-base king that he is. He improved defensively. That was in center field. Everyone was complaining, oh, he's not good enough to play center. Was one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball. Legitimized himself as a top 5 center fielder in the game. And now he's being shifted to left, which, for good or not, if it's better for his health to keep him in left, sure. And you saw it last year, and hopefully the trend, the power numbers at 24 homers, hopefully going forward moves to those, maybe pushing that 30 homer. But if you're telling me Nim's going to consistently hit 24, 25 homers a year, I think you'll take that, especially now in a corner where the power is more valuable than the on-base percentage. You see that little power continue to spike. It's always a good thing. And, we all know defensively he's great. Does it really matter if he's playing center or left? No, this year, again, he'll play there. Is there a world where probably he'll get a lot of time in center? There's a shot, especially, with injuries, history, and the rest of the outfield. There's a good chance he starts in left. But by midseason, you could probably see him back in center field every day. So, again, with your investment, you obviously have to protect it. And last year, you saw the power. If, you continue to see that, plus the good defense, just continuing to be one of the best outfielders in baseball.
Frank, I know that one of your biggest gripes with Nimmo throughout his entire career has been his non-desire to steal bases from the leadoff spot. The fact that they are going to move him over to left field, maybe preserve his health a little bit more. What do you think? Does this maybe open up the possibility of him stealing more bases?
It's really tough to say because I think there was a little bit of a combination of things that even when Nimmo was trying to steal bases, before the rule changes, his percentage still wasn't great. He was one of those guys where it's like they have speed, but if they're not an actual good base stealer, it kind of doesn't really matter. But I feel that with the change in the rules, he has a really good opportunity to become a better base stealer. But I think that overall, when you look at this Mets lineup as a whole, and maybe we'll get to it, it's a topic that we talked about before, he's become a very interesting player in this lineup with this particular team because we did see that big power increase, which we were not expecting. So I think that, ultimately, depending on where he is hitting in the lineup, I do hope that maybe he'll be a little more opportunistic about when he steals the bases. He doesn't have to go every time, but I think, trying to really find those spots that are those good times to go, taking that base is important. But I think that just his overall impact to the team, maintaining health is also a big part of that. So whether it's playing in left field, not stealing as many bases, or both, I'm okay with that because of the importance that he does have, and they want to keep him healthy. And that was another big gripe on him. Besides the defense prior to, him making the improvements, the other big thing was he can never stay healthy. How can you get made years? The guy does stay healthy. Past couple of seasons, he's been very healthy. So, I would like, for whatever he's doing, keep doing that so that he is staying on the field year in, year out. Because when he's on the field, this guy is a great player offensively. I mean, whether it's with on-base percentage, whether it's with power, at the end of the season, he's always going to give you, that good OPS. Obviously, the on-base percentage is still going to be anywhere from good till elite. He's always going to be in that threshold as well. So for me, it's like if the Mets are out of it, there's no reason to be stealing bases all the time because they're just going to hurt yourself in the long season. So I think that finding those moments, those pitchers, like if you're facing a pitcher that's like a freebie, might as well, you know what I mean? Like,
even though the Mets pretty much have all the pitchers that are just slow to the plate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if maybe someone else could have signed Ottavino instead of the Mets, that would have been a good time to run. Or if Dylan Betances was still around, like we have Montes like we have all those guys. But I think ultimately health is more important than the stolen bases. So I'm okay with him just kind of making sure he's on the field more times than not.
What was really impressive with Nimmo last year was obviously the fact that, yes, he hit for a lot more power, but he kept the slash line production at the exact same level, just adding more power to it, which was just incredible, especially when you saw him take this big contract, 8 years. You expect a player to, like maybe sag off a bit, maybe just dip a little bit, but hey, he's completely played to it so far. 2022, 2023, both at 274 if you're looking at batting average, on-base percentage, both in the 360s, and then 433 in the slugging, and then 466 in slugging the next year. So, I mean, he's just kept the exact same production. I like that he's willing to strike out a little bit more to sacrifice for that contact. I like that, especially from the leadoff spot. Again, we're going to need that if he isn't going to be stealing bases. You're almost guaranteed 50 to 60 extra base hits from Nimmo from the leadoff spot every single year if he stays healthy.
A year like 2021 where he hits 292, 401 on base percentage, but he only has the 8 home runs. So when you look at the grand scheme of things, in 21 with those increased numbers, 838 OPS, but because of the home runs this past, he's 829 OPS. So it's like there's like we talk about, there's multiple ways of being an effective player. So it's just a matter of him kind of using the best of both, like trying to balance the contact and the power. And again, it could be situational. Like if the Mets just need him to get on base, he can take more of that contact approach. If he has runners on base with this ball in the lineup, I don't know if he will have many opportunities this year with the current ball in the lineup that they are projected for, but then he can try to take those power opportunities as well. So, and it's like we've talked about before, the leadoff hitter has changed. I mean, there's a lot more times where you do see more power leadoff hitters. So, Nimmo kind of adapting with the way baseball is evolving, I think is also something that is very encouraging.
2021, you saw the highest batting average of his career, and all the old people were, yay, that's my leadoff hitter, my 1990s leadoff hitter. But his best year was last year when the power numbers jumped. If Brandon is going to be more opportunistic, not just on the base pass, but say, some ABs against the guy who's maybe looking at that scouting report, first pitch fastball, hunt for that shit, and not just go up there looking for the walk, go up there to make, the 1-0 type Kyle Schwarber-esque approach and say, hey, I'm hunting first pitch fastball, I get one middle, and I'm slamming this shit out of the ballpark. If you get more of that, and we all know he can get on base like the best of them. But again, I'm not saying every AB has to go up there looking first pitch fastball, hitting him out of the ballpark. I'd love that. If he could be a little more aggressive to that, jump, Jeff McNeil-esque jumping a pitcher early, I think for power, because we sure as hell know Brandon Nimmo's got a hell of a lot more power than Jeff McNeil. I'm preaching, it's my narrative and agenda this year. He's going to hit 30 this year. So keep jumping those first pitch fastballs and be more, again, even in RBI spots. You see Nimmo get aggressive in RBI spots where he's like, all right, I'm not going up there to work. If I'm getting a first pitch, if I can get a first pitch middle in, I'm trying to attack early.
Second highest first pitch swing rate last year in 2023, and the highest was in 2018, which I believe was one of his injury-riddled years.
And you know what's interesting? That was the other year with the most home runs of his career, which was 17 at the time. But there's something to be said for that. And also, that year and this year were also his 2 years of 140 strikeouts or more. So that's the other interesting thing. I mean, he went up 30 strikeouts this past season, but he also went up almost 10 home runs. So it's like, again, you're kind of weighing like those positives and minuses.
Sacrificing contact for power, and that's exactly what I like to see. I want to remind everyone that projections are not predictions. They are benchmarks of the player's current specific percentile outcome based on predictive data and results. For my projections, I decided to go with, in my opinion, each player's 75th percentile outcome. A majority of these projections are usually from the 50th. I personally wanted to find a median between sustainability and upside. Also helps everybody identify if I am high or low on a player going into this year. As for Brandon Nimmo this season, 593 plate appearances, slashing 266, 367, 444, 19 home runs, 69 runs batted in, a 127 weighted runs created plus, and a wins above replacement of 3.7.
You had 100 less plate appearances. Does it say like how many games he's projected to play?
I have more rest for Brandon Nimmo than actual.
Okay, more rest. Okay. Everything seems a little spot on. I would just maybe up on the home runs and lower on the RBIs. Again, I think the way this team is currently constructed, if Harrison Bader's batting in front of him and then like Brett Beatty's right above him, there is no RBI opportunities, especially if his home runs down, he's not driving himself in. So there's no opportunities to be had with this current bottom half of the order right now. It is very top heavy as currently constructed, as we've talked about all offseason long. So unless they actually get creative, like Marte batting ninth, or they actually move some stuff around so that their good players are kind of spread out more compared to just all bunched up at the top, then it's possible. But for me, I don't see him going up in RBIs with this bottom of the order. Because keep in mind, last year Francisco Alvarez was batting ninth, and he ultimately was one of the Mets' best players. Now, on the flip side, Alvarez will not be batting ninth, and you have one of your worst players right in front of him. So
I think you have some decent on-base guys going up ahead of Nimmo at the bottom of the lineup. It's just they don't have any power.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm more on the power surge of that. You have the trend going downwards trajectory over the last couple of years.
This is a 75th percentile. Are you listening?
No, not really.
So 100 percentile outcome, you're getting like 26 or 27.
Power numbers about 20 homers. So what the bare minimum at this point we're expecting. Second on the team in WRC plus. That seems about right. On base percentage, about right. Slugging goes up, which again, I'm all for 811 OPS. Again, second in everything offensive categories on the team. I think that fits what he is. Again, that's pretty much relatively what you expect out of Nimmo. About 20 homers, hit about 260. The WRC plus, again, anywhere from that 120 to 130 range.
And also, I find it harder to see him getting more RBIs while also getting 100 less plate appearances. That's the other part of the where I'm like, that's an interesting one.
The thing about Nimmo, in terms of the power, I think that it's very easy for him to exceed 19 homers. It would be pretty easy for him to do that. At this point, I think we've seen the power capacity. I don't know if he's getting to 30 this year, to be honest. I don't see him getting to 25. I think 24 is probably where he's going to max out. 25 maybe is a possibility. I think we've hit it. You're going to get a good mix from Brandon Nimmo at the top of the lineup. I mean, that's something that you're really going to guarantee every single year. I think he's already proven that he's going to give you that type of production. And also, selfishly, very selfishly, to end this off, can we finally get this man into the All-Star game already? Please. This is ridiculous.
I thought Brandon's had some good chances, especially this past couple of years because he was finally healthy. I thought that there were times that he was missing it because of the amount of games he was missing. But these past 2 years he was healthy, and I don't know. I think that him hitting the only 2 home runs in like May or so, whatever it was, or April, one of the 2 early months this year, had he got the homers, like, because again, it's a first half award. Had he gotten like the big home run month like earlier in the year compared to late in the year, maybe he makes it. But we'll see. I think also the Mets being bad also hurt his case. I feel like if the team guy should be decent, then you'll have more notoriety, more people are paying attention, and then he could make it. Because he has the talent to do it. There's no doubt about it. I think if he swipes some more bags, that might give him another edge. But, we'll see. I think ultimately, again, being on the field consistently, playing good defense, like that stuff should be important.